So a couple days ago, I actually made a video talking about the recently confirmed news that Paul King is developing a new Wonka sequel with Timothy Chalamet. And again, it did get me thinking in that video, like, what is the future of Timothy Chalamet's career really going to look like? And in it, I did touch on how Leonardo DiCaprio gave him some advice one time that did actually suggest to him to stay away from the superhero genre completely and just do, movies, I think, that he really wants to do, but also movies that is not necessarily, I think, in the franchise category or, kind of moving away and just doing solo projects like the new Bob Dylan movie that he's doing. Again, this was like kind of what it looked like he was doing for a while, even with Wonka. But now we know Wonka looks like it could be potentially getting turned into a franchise. Dune looks like it is 100% getting turned into a franchise. And I think there could be a re-aggravated interest in Timothy Chalamet's mind that could be to potentially continue the franchise trend and capitalize on his fame and use it to add to a already pre-established franchise, like we could be seeing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with reports saying that Timothy Chalamet could make his debut in the MCU movie playing a villainous Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 4, and this is being reported by the Supreme Sign File. Again, this is being reported by a couple other different people as well, that Timothy Chalamet could actually make an appearance in Marvel eventually as Harry Osborn. Now, we know that him and Tom Holland are really, really close friends, and I think if Tom Holland wanted Timothy Chalamet to do a role with him in the MCU, I really can't see him turning that down, especially if it's a antagonist to Tom Holland's character where they could, bounce off each other chemistry-wise. That could create really great tension between Peter Parker and Harry Osborn that was already so greatly recreated or created with Tobey Maguire and James Franco in previous films. I definitely think there is an ability for Timothy Chalamet and Tom Holland to be able to recapture what those legends did in the older movies and make it even better in the modern films. Now, again, I don't necessarily know if he will be in Spider-Man 4. I know this report does say Spider-Man 4, but I don't think they're ready to introduce Harry Osborn, just yet. I think, considering Peter Parker is most likely going to have a new group of college friends in, Spider-Man 4, I wouldn't be surprised if it's by the 5th movie, maybe Harry Osborn, Peter Parker moves on from the college that he's at now, which is a community college, I believe he'll be going to, because, again, no one knows his grades, no one remembers who he is, but I'm assuming potentially in Marvel will eventually work his way up to going to like a really high profile science college where he could maybe meet Harry Osborn, who he remembers was one of his childhood friends. Again, I'm not sure if that's where they're going to go with this, but that's a type of story arc that we have seen in previous Spider-Man films and Spider-Man media. So again, that would be super interesting if maybe we get to see Harry Osborn in number 5 and he and Peter Parker become really good friends again like they were as kids, and then by the end of it or something, we see what I'm assuming is disruption in their friendship, and then maybe Harry Osborn becomes like a villain in Spider-Man 6, which who knows what he could turn into, whether that's going to be like a Hobgoblin, a Green Goblin Jr. like he was in Spider-Man 3, or does he, take some inspiration from the venomous symbiote that he gets in, of course, Marvel Spider-Man 2. Again, I really don't know how they're going to do this. It's still not even confirmed if any of these will happen. These are not the best sources out there, but I still thought it was really interesting to make a video, especially if they go and do all of this. Again, the only big thing counter-arguing everything that I've said right now is that the rumor has it is that MCU Spider-Man 4 will be called Brand New Day. And why that would counter everything is we know in the Brand New Day comics, Peter Parker does find new friends, and he goes to college and does everything like that. But at the end of the day, he basically makes a deal with the devil, which I believe is Mephisto, and he's able to get his friends back, and I think even get Aunt May back from the dead, which is a crazy story arc. So again, there are people saying that in this one, he will do a deal with Doctor Doom, where his friends will remember him again, and somehow Aunt May will come back alive in this universe that Doctor Doom has created in Spider-Man 4. But again, we really don't know if that's all true. I don't know if there's going to be room for them to introduce Harry Osborn, or how they're even going to go about that. I really don't know. So yeah, when I first saw this report, I kind of looked down and sighed, because it's very weird, and it does genuinely look like Spider-Man 4 is just becoming so multiversal at this rate, and legitimately just like another Avengers movie. Again, in the last video, I talked about the report that Chris Pratt is going to be in Spider-Man 4, and to be honest, I don't really like the idea. Of course, I wanted a grounded Spider-Man story, but if it was to go multiversal, I was fine with that, as long as it stayed true to Spider-Man and became a Spider-Man multiversal story with some grounded elements. I didn't want to see, really, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord in it, and I don't really want to see Scarlett Witch, who it is being reported that MCU Spider-Man 4 will feature Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch, being reported by Daniel RPK. I mean, why? This is becoming an Avengers movie. This is not a Spider-Man movie. It's really tough to say what is going on here, because initial reports said that this movie would be called Spider-Man the King in Black, which I thought was the most hard title ever. Again, people were saying that it would have Spider-Man taking on Venom and Kraven the Hunter, when eventually they would all have to team up, realizing that Null is the bigger threat that they've, of course, got to go and take down, who is the King in Black, and then I guess Spider-Man would then become the King in Black. We also heard reports that he would also be getting the symbiote and all of the above, right? Which I've covered on this channel. And then we drifted on that full multiversal story was getting developed into a story that was going to be half multiversal and half grounded, and would be called Spider-Man A Brand New Day, and would essentially have a plot that would be like the Brand New Day comic book, where Spider-Man makes a deal with Mephisto, aka the devil, and Mephisto lets Spider-Man not be Spider-Man anymore. He gets to focus on being Peter Parker, and then he, of course, gets to have his friends all back, and all of this type of stuff, right? And they'll all remember him again, like Ned, and I think Aunt May even comes back alive. Again, a lot of people were saying that in this story, it would be Doctor Doom who would make a deal with Spider-Man, a part of the new universe that he has created in the battle world. But it looks like that's not happening either. It looks like we're just getting this flat-out multiversal story that's going to have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in it. Probably going to have freaking Hugh Jackman's Wolverine in it at this rate. And it's going to have Scarlet Witch and, I mean, Chris Pratt as Star-Lord. Why? What are we doing here, man? I don't want 3 Avengers movies in a row. I'm happy with this movie leading up to the Avengers movie of Secret Wars and taking place after Doomsday. That's all fine and dandy. But why are we... Oh, man. No! I'm genuinely starting to tweak, bro. I'm starting to just rage at my thing because, I mean, Scarlet Witch is hot. Elizabeth Olsen is obviously very good looking. I mean, my best friend literally has a chain of her on his bloody ring, on his car keys, of a Lego Scarlet Witch, and goddamn, that Lego is looking hella good looking. But yeah, I think she's really good looking. I think she's a great character and one of the best characters in Marvel, probably the best female character. But I don't want to see her in a Spider-Man story, same as I don't want to see Chris Pratt as Star-Lord in a Spider-Man story. I am content with having maybe that King in Black story, with having that Brand New Day story. The only reason I would think that these guys have any right to be in this story if it's at the end of the movie and it just sets up Secret Wars. That is the only reason I think any of these guys have any type of place in this movie. And even then, I don't like it, I don't rate it, and I think we should go far away from it because it's just not what I think they should be doing. But you know what? Marvel's going to be wanting to make as much money as they can. They're going to want to turn this into a big Avengers movie, and it's just how it's going to be. But again, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for latest gaming content, movie content, and more. Don't forget to check out my sports channels, MLIRO/Flowing channels as well, which will be all getting linked in the description down below. And yeah, comment your thoughts and opinions because I think a lot of this is truly outrageous, and I just want to hear what you guys say down below. But yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.